For the past month, I've been trying to drastically improve my fighting, but I started to notice my improvement plateau. I've been 1v1ing better players, aim training, and practicing my mechanics, but in the middle of the week, I played so bad in a tournament that I just sat there and thought, and I finally realized the issue: autopiloting. I had reverted to making silly mistakes that I know are wrong and I've been trying to phase out, but these habits are so ingrained that when I'm not 100% focused, I just keep doing them. The thing that separates pro players from good players is that all of the great things pro players do are automatic. They don't have to think about them. But for a player that's nowhere near those levels, the automatic actions that that player does are 99% of the time terrible habits. A pro player will make multiple good plays in a fight without thinking. A great player will make a few good plays, but is constantly thinking. And a bad player won't think at all and rarely makes a good play. And honestly, right now, I'm far closer to a bad player than good. But the real problem is when autopilot carries into your practice. It might be normal to play without thinking sometimes, but if it's happening in your practice, that's probably the root cause of bad habits and stunted growth. When I look back, I realized during my mechanics routine and PGs, I was doing the same thing over and over. The same retakes, edit, peaks, pre-piece plays, and even the same bad starts I know are terrible. Your volume of practice means very little when it lacks purpose. When you practice, it should be 100% intentional. If we refer back to my skill card from last video, my mechanics did actually improve quite a bit, but the three most important stats, my aim, decision making, and awareness, did go down quite a bit. Ideally, by the end of the season, I wanted a 75 overall skill rating, and since I'm being harsh as possible, where 1 is a complete burger and 99 is Peterbot, a 75 overall should definitely be good enough to be a grand level fighter. But now I'm going to tighten the scope back to next week. I want to take my aim up and movement up to a 50, which might be a little challenging, but that's the hardest I want to do this week, because I want my awareness and decision making to rise from where it currently is in the 20 ranges all the way up to the 60s. And the best way to do this is to just watch the game a lot. Which, as this video was releasing, which will probably be after FNCS Heats, I will have watched a lot of Fortnite. Although this means nothing if I don't actually play the game. So on to my actual routine. First, I'm cutting down a lot of mechanics practice because it's repetitive. My mechanics are more consistent and slightly faster, but I'm not challenging myself, and what I'm doing in game isn't changing much. Instead of only practicing in creative, I'm replacing some of that time with more 1v1 PGs against real players. But I'm doing it differently this time. Instead of just playing, I'm raising my expectations. If I'm against someone worse than me, I'm focusing on implementing new things and working on weaknesses. And if I'm against someone much better, I'm staying as long as possible because getting punished forces improvement. The second change is I'm bringing back a lot of aim training. I've been missing shots I normally hit, and my damage output is dropping quite a lot, and the damage I'm changing isn't taking. Building and editing can be easy because it can make someone a target, but I still have to hit them, and right now I'm either not hitting them or I'm not hitting for any good damage. I've also been consistent with zone wars and realistic 1v1s, most of the time against way better players, but I fall into the same trap: autopilot. I'm not thinking about my plays, what my opponent is doing, or more importantly, how I can actually hit them. This leads into reload ranked. I've been trying for a while, but ranked battle royale is just genuinely unplayable now. The queue times, finding players, and the lobbies themselves. Since I'm on a time limit of this season, ranked is just too slow, and reload ranked is much faster. But instead of just playing for an hour and reviewing deaths, I'm setting a 5 game limit. This keeps me focused, playing fights properly, and this means I'll avoid all spawn deaths, and this will lead me to get the best practice since I'm staying within a 5 game bracket, meaning that I'm going to play intentionally the entire time. As there aren't many tournaments right now, the obvious thing to grind is scrims, and I said that I would last week, but I wasn't consistent with them. And even though in the few days coming up to this video, I played quite a lot of scrim games, they weren't really effective since I hadn't played much throughout the week or actually used them efficiently. To counteract this in the future, I decided to make a 3-step process that would make sure I get the most out of scrims. Step 1 is to create a game plan. This includes a drop, how to play with contested, loot and farm routes, scuff routes, and rotation plans, and then an endgame script. Step 2 is to actually play the scrims following this game plan to the best of my ability. And step 3 is to go back and VOD review, see where my game plan needs adjusting, and then write down the actual mistakes I made in the game. So for the future, future, I set a goal of at least 6 scrim games per week. That's enough to find mistakes, improve them, and get real endgame reps as well. In terms of my routine, I'm not changing much. I'm just focusing on practicing with intent and fixing my bad autopilot habit. So, if I can turn my bad habits into good ones and then my good habits into great ones, that's when I won't have to think as much in fights. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe. I'm live on my Twitch, link in description, every day at 7 to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, streaming the grind.